welcome. In this screencast, what we're going to do is just kind of talk through our new MCUSD 709 professional development website that we've put together, and to kind of show you around, give you a little bit of philosophy about why we're doing this, what use we want it to be to you, you being able to give us some feedback as to how to make it even more useful. And if you'll notice here, this is the website. We will make sure that everybody has the link. It's up here in the bar, but we'll make sure that everybody gets that. And you'll notice kind of the part of the title is this, I don't know what I don't know. And this is kind of the philosophy that we're going with on this particular website. A lot of times as teachers, they will tell us, I didn't even know you could do that, or I wasn't familiar with that. So, and that makes perfect sense. You don't know what you don't know. If you didn't realize there was an app called Explain Everything, how in the world are you going to know to use that app, Explain Everything? And so the theory here is to provide an ongoing, updated website where you can see, oh, here are the things that some people are using. Or you can go to the website and you can be a contributor. And a contributor in terms of, and on the main web page, homepage, use this Google form to make suggestions for other topics that you would like to see covered. What we think is really important about this website is that it becomes something that is usable for you, that we add things that you are using. Because Lori and I don't know what we don't know. If we don't know you're using something in class, you may have just brilliant lessons that are being planned. We don't know that you're using that app. We don't know to spread that. And so this Google form, when you go to it, is very simple. What are the topics would you like to see covered on the PD webpage? And we can add, we could probably add another kind of short answer type question that if you have something to offer, by all means, let us know. So if we take a look at the website, you'll notice I am not a web designer, have never claimed to be a web designer. That's not what I don't necessarily enjoy the web design part. So it's really plain, but I'm a big fan of it is the content in this case. We want it to be easy to find. And you'll notice along the left here, we have, if we collapse this, we really have two different areas right now. And that is all of those Google App for Education apps that are there, from Gmail to Google Sheets. And I want to make sure that you understand, it's like, for instance, if you go to Gmail, this is going to be, you're going to see a link to something that I did. It is a very localized type of thing. Here's how you use Gmail now that we're going to it. But if you scroll down, you'll notice that I've provided what Google gives in terms of tutorials. And so you can go out and it will link to, okay, I'm just getting started with it. All right, let's go through this. And then you go through these tips. And by the end of the section, what do we call it, level 1, you're going to understand that idea of getting started using Gmail. So what we'd like to do is, and what I think is really important, is to make this website very personal to Morton 709. Now, with that being said, it is, it takes a while. This is a half an hour video. It takes a while to produce these and get them on here. That doesn't help you if there's nothing on here to help you with Gmail. So, for instance, if you go to Google Classroom, there is something that, again, I produced, but in this case, I'm using something that I've had and something that I produced earlier in the year, which is just simply a Google Doc of using Google Classroom. And it will kind of walk you through how to add, in this case, an assignment to Google Classroom. We'll add other tutorials here to be able to help you so that it is this, as we say, kind of a one-stop shop for professional development. But we'd also like to produce things that are in-house, because I think if we can give some examples of what people are doing in-house, that's going to be the best thing. So an example, Google Drive. Right now, I've not produced anything in-house that is Google Drive, but I've linked you to Google Apps Learning Center, where here's how to use Drive. And you can either get started from scratch, or you can say, oh, I've been using Dropbox, and so it kind of shows you a comparison between the two. And so the idea here is, and we don't have to go through each one of these, it is really to give you a fairly quick place to find answers that you may have. The other thing it does is for you to look here every so often and see, oh, you know what? I don't even know what Google Forms is. You go to Google Forms. Again, hopefully there will be an in-house tutorial that we eventually add. But in this case, here's, all right, start from scratch. Let's get started. And this is going to show you how to work with forms. The goal of our district then is to get beyond, that idea of teaching above the line. How do we use these apps? How do we use the things that are on the left-hand side to teach above the line? That's what we will continue to add to this site. We also have a section where we highlight apps we hope to add to this. We have those, I would say right now, the big four, Book Creator, Explain Everything, Notability, and iMovie. You will notice that in this case, Explain Everything is going to take you to a tutorial, and some of those, if we go here to Explain Everything, you've got another website that it takes you to. These are, for instance, this working with projects in Google Drive. These are videos that were produced in-house. And so, again, you've got that maybe more personalized touch in that situation. Most of these apps here, I shouldn't say most, all but iMovie. iMovie is a free app that is on iPads, or it is available for iPads. Notability, Explain Everything, Book Creator, all cost, but I will tell you they are three unbelievably powerful apps. In fact, I would argue that these three apps, these four apps, if you had those four apps along with the Google apps, you don't really need much more. It is, when we talk about teaching above the line, we end up talking about things like student creation, more than just content, working on those soft skills. But we will add, and we'll be more than happy to add apps along the side here. Hopefully what this does is it gives us kind of a running, if we were to look at this every month, let's say, we would keep adding apps, then you would see this, oh, here are apps that people are using. Now I know what's out there. And then you can tailor your questions to us to say, hey, I want a little bit more. I think this Book Creator's interesting. Can you show me more about that? And to close, the last area that we would like to put on here, and we haven't named it at this point, but would be something akin to a showcase. Being able to showcase things that you do in class, being able to showcase things that students do in class, so that teachers in particular can look at it and say, well, okay, I'm interested in this Book Creator thing, but I want to see some stuff that kids have done using Book Creator. If we had a showcase area, that would be a fairly easy thing to do. It also becomes something then that the community can be made aware of. Here are the things that we're doing with the iPad beyond just what we call drill and kill kinds of things. Just, if all we're going to use the iPad for is multiplication tables and flashcards, doesn't mean that it's not beneficial for that, but the iPad really is a much more powerful product than that. So, again, keep checking back to the professional development website. We will add to it. We will put the link on to Google Classroom. Thanks for joining us.